Invented by Shiki, this call assist, pencil dripping from the way I spit. Fell in love with this, since got music, now she in my grips. Wanna take a sip. What up, buddy? It's your boy JR Reviews back with another video here to bring you another anime review. To bring you an anime that I actually honestly really enjoyed. And funny enough, it's surprising it all started after went from manga or a novel to a Euro game, which is basically a porno game, and then anime. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know why they made it to a porn game, because there's barely any sex or ecchi shit in it and all. Actually, this anime is really fucking dark, messed up. There are some things that even got me like, what the fuck? And the anime is called Fruits of a Grisaia, or Grisaia is really, if you want to go by in technical terms, Grisaia is the first series. Fruits of a Grisaia is the second series, and then Grisaia something is the third series. And what Fruits of a, well, I'm gonna start from a Grisaia. So it follows another guy named Yuji. I'm not gonna say his last name, but Yuji had a very bad life from the very beginning of his life. He is the youngest of his family, and of his only two siblings that he has, which is himself and his sister. And his sister is the quote-unquote genius of the family. She's a brilliant painter. She's smart, athletic, very well liked. Well, on the way, well, he's the kind of the wimp, not well liked by anybody from his parents. And granted that there are moments where her parents forget to feed him. His dad calls him a bunch of names and beats the crap out of him. Anyways, it all comes down to where his sister does love him and loves him very much. Sometimes to the point where his sister shouldn't love her little brother. And what I mean by that is exactly what I mean by that. Anyways, tragedy happens, and the sister ends up going in her middle school days, ends up going to either middle school or I think it was middle school, ends up going on the basketball team, and it goes on a trip with the basketball team to go and to away games. On their way back from away games, they are their bus falls off a cliff, and they are stranded in an area where they are supposedly died. Now, in the Fruits of a Geisha, we are told the full story in the last 3 episodes of what actually happened from a surviving member, the only surviving member, which we think is the only surviving member of the party that was on the bus. Turns out that basically people had gone, they survived a few days, and people had injuries, severe injuries. Like one girl had broken leg, one girl had a broken cuts and bruising. There's another I think a broken arm and stuff. And the sister, main character, the sister of Yuji. Sorry for yawning so much, guys. Tried her best to help everybody, and sometimes it doesn't always work like that. She helped, was very surprisingly well knowledgeable in medicine, food, and all that type of stuff, and made friends with the character that you see, who he talks to, who actually tells him about it. Turns out, so anyways, this happens until all the food is basically gone in their supply, and whenever a person dies, they think are getting buried. Not true. Turns out that the head captain of the basketball team and the fucking coach are not just the coach, these other people are doing this too, besides these two, they caught him in the act of fucking each other, obviously. Mind you, this is a middle schooler and a fucking adult. And they're eating the dead bodies of the people, and they're basically going cannibalistic, and it leads his sister and the girl that you later meet fuck me, on a chase, and where the sister supposedly gets killed, but she doesn't die actually, like gets eaten. And the best friend who later will meet Yuji, in the Fruits of a Geisha series, ends up surviving, causing a whole bunch of mess in the Fruits of Geisha series, where a hostage scenarios happened because of. Fuck me. Why do I yawn so much? You want to drink with something, so that might help me. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if I can get this without yawning a couple more times. So where was I at? Okay. So yeah, there's a huge hostage situation where one of the parents of the members that were died, obviously, wants revenge on the friend of the sister of Yuji's sister. Forgot her friend's name is. Fucking for all I care, anyways. I'm not gonna name. The only people that are important right now are the friend's sister, are Yuji really, because he's the main character. And they tried. He basically has a huge hostage situation with him and a bunch of other girls. So anyways, Yuji story is I think the saddest of all, in my opinion, because after all that he's basically taken away by his mom to go live with someone else, but with his father, because his father had turned to drinking. And for a time, their life was good. Mom had to go work out, and, mom was being a better person to him. Till one day, he basically sees his dad comes in, finds him drunk. He's drunk as a fucking skunk, and literally rapes the mom right in front of Yuji, as Yuji's mom is told to run by his mom, which he does. And when he comes back to the house, like 2 hours later or something like that, he finds police officers, red police tape and everything. He goes in, and his mom killed his dad and then killed herself by hanging. And he finds his mom hanging from the ceiling fan. Now he's orphaned, and a person comes over who used to buy his sister's art when she was supposedly still alive. But she's still alive anyways. When she buys her sister's art, who would buy sister's art, and takes him in, which really fucked up, because not only is this guy a class A almost pedophile, because he makes Yuji kind of looks like his sister, kind of, wear a white wig, because his sister has white silver hair. So from a point of view, he looks like his sister, and looks like a girl. Obviously, makes him wear dresses and touches him inappropriately in that way. Trains him into be a lethal fucking assassin. I mean, fucking assassin. Also, this guy's a terrorist. Forgot to mention that he's a terrorist. Trains him to be unmerciful. Literally makes him so deadly they can kill you with a ballpoint pen. And then uses him on a bunch of missions. And then whenever he's not supposed to be in a mission, or he's like locked in the tower, until one day the version of Japan's Secret Service comes in, and or the Japanese CIA service kind of comes in, and they storm his place. He's already escaped, and they find two people find him in the basement, and take him in for malnourishment, and he's obviously starving and all that, and he's in the hospital. Also, he probably has severe trauma, which this anime is basically based on trauma. There's one girl who literally has multiple personality disorder, and one personality just at one point says, "It's enough. I can't take it anymore. Kill me." And Yuji, being Yuji, just okay, I'll kill you. He doesn't kill you. He actually is there to be a dick. He gives her a medication that makes her seem like she's gonna die, and knocks her out basically, but doesn't kill her. Buries her while alive under the ground, so she realizes that she doesn't want to die, and then claws herself out, which is actually ingenious, but also sick as fuck. Like, you're a sick fuck, Yuji, for doing that. One character who's, calls him, Oni-chan, and later buys him with, she's a rich girl, but also has, and self-induced amnesia because she witnessed her father being murdered because her family she is part of is very rich and supposedly runs the Japan's underground, which is Japan's criminal, and where Yuji ends up killing her real mom in one scene where they have to go on the run because they're being going to be she's put on an assassination target. Anyways, she buys Yuji for 70 million yen and says, "Now you're my dad." I'm like, okay, honey. No, he's not. But the thing about it is, I really like the relationship between these two because and she's like a first year high school student, so she looks like she's a 12-year-old, which is kind of weird. But this little girl. So Yuji's preferred weapon of choice, because he later becomes part of the Japanese defense thingy, Japanese Secret Service thingy, he's a sniper. This girl becomes on par with him in sniping. I am not fucking kidding you. Like, there is a scene where they actually have to break him out of the place that the people he work for, well, they're gonna, otherwise the world will be destroyed at some point. And she shoots a bullet from, like, I would say, like, 45 feet at a 45-degree angle from the top of a building with someone, like, being right here. And it hits, like, it goes through their metal helmet, killing them, killing 3 more other people, and then and then repeats to do that 3 more times. Like, I'm not kidding you, this girl is badass. Anyways, so the 2 girls, 2 people of the these Secret Service end up taking her in. Technically, is 1 person, and it's I'm not gonna forget her name, but she is a black-haired, like, very no-nonsense kind of bitch. And he calls her master later on, but my favorite moments are with her because they're just funny. And then there's JB, who you see in Fruits of Aggression and the other series as well. And my moments is when they first bring her home, they tries to feed her. He tries to feed him, or she tries to feed him, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I don't want your food." And then JB's there, and she screams at him, "Feed me eat or I'm gonna fucking kill you." And then JB says, "I'm pretty sure you're supposed to. You want the person to stay alive you're trying to feed." And funny enough, JB then tries to feed him, and she just says, "Say ah," and he eats the food. And then another scene where I like is where it's a little bit later on where JB, or the lady, I forgot the master's name, but she's a very pretty woman, is drinking, obviously a beer, which is, like, modeled after a Heineken beer, and she's like, "I thought I drank, like, probably drank already, like, 4 of them, because I think there was, like, 2 on the ground, and one on the table that's crunched up, and now she's finishing the last one." And they're like, she's looking at him, and JB is, and the girl goes, "Oh, you know he's not a virgin, right?" It's like, "Huh?" So, "Who was his partner?" "Well, me, of course." Wait, I'm like, he's like 15. I'm not kidding you. He was like 15. It's like, and she's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. And he's like, and she says, it goes to a scene where he's like, "It's your birthday. What do you want for your birthday?" They're all both in the bathtub with each other, and he says, a nicer master/guardian," and she bites she bites him on the shoulder. It's like, "I know, I have a better gift for you." He's like, "What?" "How about me?" And I'm like, and he went for it? I'm like, what the fuck? And then the scene where, that's what I remember saying, he went for that shit? I'm like, okay, well, good for you, Yuji. And then JB says, so how many times? And he's like, wait, she's like, what? How many times? And then she says, oh, you mean like a day? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. She's counting on it, like, and it's like, after she gets like I think 5, JB's like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, he's still got his needs, you know, he's a 15-year-old man, right? And then she looks sad because she's like, oh yeah, I forgot, you are still a virgin, JB. And then all of nowhere, she does this, and then Yuji comes out and says yes, says, I want you to take JB's virginity. And JB's like, it's like, yes, ma'am. She's dragging JB by his by her leg while she's trying to claw it with her face. Like, no, I don't want to. Says, don't go easy on her. Yes, ma'am. I thought it was a fucking funny scene. I'm sorry if you think that's sick, but it's hilarious that a grown woman is scared of a 15-year-old boy in that scenario. Also, he joins the army. He goes to America and joins the army. He's in war. I'm sorry, this anime is just one of those animes where you just have to watch. And funny enough, the school he attends in the second series is all for people with special circumstances, like, for example, that one girl who wants to kill herself, who also has who has multiple personality, dissociative identity or personality disorder. One girl who's literally family is trying to kill her at one point, or tries to kill her at one point, and also she saw her dad be basically brutally murdered. Another girl who's literally another part of a rich family, whose father wanted a son and hated having a daughter, and the fact that when his mom got sick, the last few words she ever heard from his mother is, why couldn't you be a daughter? Or why couldn't you be a son instead of a daughter? And which is, you never want to hear your parents ever say that, including when they're on their deathbed as well. You want them to say, I love you, but nah, this is I got girlhood. And then the final one, too, is obviously the childhood friend, who it takes almost the fucking entire, like, almost the entire anime to, like, episode 10 or 9, I think it was 10, to confess that she knew his sister, and that's the reason why she's been trying to get all buddy with him and all that type of stuff. Where in the second season, third season, which is, I forgot the other one, it is finally revealed that the sister is not dead. Where she'd been all this fucking time, hooked up to a gigantic computer system, basically. Yeah. And the guy who, quote unquote, would molest him and turn him into a super killing machine terrorist assassin, he created a clone and is also trying to get him the original one back, which there's an awesome battle, I think, in the last 2 episodes of the third season, where between him and his clone, and with him coming out on top, and him actually killing the leader of the person who made him go through all that in his life, I guess you could say the terrorist, with, he fights him originally with a katana and a gun, and he thinks he gets impaled in the stomach, and the governor, the terrorist thinks he's won, but he forgot that remember, he says, I don't need a gun to kill you or a sword. All I need is a ballpoint pen. And there's one on the desk that he is, and they're on a boat too, which is awesome. And they're on a desk, and he just stabs it right through the neck, and it was over. I'm like, oh, fuck. That was a good scene. If you love action, if you love fucked up and, like, dark shit, and you love, like, very dramatic, might cry stuff, and might laugh, this is the anime for you. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said before, I'm surprised this was even a porno game in Euro game in Japan, because there's nothing really pornography related. I mean, obviously there's some, like, obviously there's sex and stuff, but there's never really, like, sex, like, shown. The closest thing you get to being seen is, what you could confer is the terrorist dude fucking a child, which is the Yuji as a child, just as his sister, because he was told to dress as his sister, which is really fucked up in so many levels. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. And I'll probably be taking a break from reviewing anime for at least a week, or not. For the rest of the week, I will not be making any reviews. Just chill. Hope you all have a good day, good night, and peace.